Sun, Moon, and Rising Venus signs. Welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Production since 1998, author of Words of Grace. From a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box, essentially my legacy, unless I write the next book. Creator on Patreon, patreon.com/Drawing the Circle. I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi. My 10th housers, you highest potential, slow and steady wins the race, getting younger as you grow older. Cardinal earth signs, I love you. Let's get down to business, shall we? First of all, ladies, eyes up here. I know, you're staring at the malachite. I know. Eyes up here. Sad to say that today, I don't know why. Having a good day. I'm well aware of what's going on planet Earth at the time of this recording, though this is a timeless read. But I had some really good breath work today, some good prayers, some meditation, some delicious coffee. And so I'm ready to rock and roll. If you're new to the channel, a work, career, vocation reading is really a 3-level of power reading. And there's a link in the description box to a video by Carolyn Myss, MYSS. She's a PhD. This is her archetype deck we're going to be using, talking about the 3 levels of power. You can use the 3 levels to look at all sorts of different areas of your life. In this case, we are looking at life, purpose, work, career, vocation. Eau de toilette, cologne, perfume, right? 3 levels of scent, right? And the calling is really important. For me, it's really important. My perfume, you'll see. You can watch the video down there. That'll be helpful. Other than that, it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs and check your other archetypes. There are going to be 3 archetypes hitting the table. They're already in the title, and I do post the titles, the archetypes, in on my community page here on Facebook. Getting my platforms confused, on YouTube. So if you see, an archetype repeat there somewhere, you might want to check it out. Other than that, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will. I will do the best that I can. The moon is in Gemini at the time of this recording. I'm doing my best. But I am a Virgo. I'm going to give you the very best and the very blessed that I got, because I have aligned my work, career, and vocation into one movement of energy from the 8th chakra all the way down to the root chakra. That doesn't mean I nail the dismount every single time, but, every day is a winding road. Let's get a little bit closer. Don't be shy. So let's do this. Ready? Enough explanation. Let's get into divination. Breathe. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, please, beloved ones. 3 cards in clarity. For the Capricorn collective, in terms of their life purpose, work, career, vocation, let's talk about levels of intuition as well as levels of power. Their survival intuition, the physical world, the literal level of power. What's their dominant 8th chakra there? Kind of governing the electromagnetics of all the other chakras, what they attract and repel in the physical world. What's going on in their 2nd level of power? Their creative intuition, heart, throat, 3rd eye, crown, dominant internal world, feminine energy, their cologne. It brings them alive internally. What's the 8th chakra dynamic there, hovering over all of that in their career? And lastly, the perfume, their visionary intuition, their 8th chakra power, 8th chakra dominant, right? The perfume that just calls them forward on their path, their vocation, their calling. What's the dominant 8th chakra archetype there for my caps? We talk about these 3 the most. Everything else is just building upon these archetypal bones. Let's see who you got here. Oh. Now, you got from work to vocation, you've got the Queen, feminine family archetype. The Exorcist, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is the divine family of archetypes. Could be wild card as well. I don't remember all of them where they go all the time. And the Pioneer, which is a creative family archetype. So even if we say feminine family, divine family, and creative family, this makes sense, and I will explain why. Now, even though we laid them out this way, you actually read them the opposite direction, working from the 8th chakra, visionary, through creative, into survival, intuition, spirit into form, creativity, manifestation, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about the Pioneer. In terms of a calling, the shadow is what you're working on, right? It's the lead to gold, it's the alchemy. The light attribute is what you're shooting for. Lead to gold, shadow to light, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, name it as you like. The shadow attribute, compulsion, compulsive need to keep moving on, meaning like even when you have pioneered and found the thing that you were pioneering for, you're like, okay, that was great, gotta move on, gotta move on, gotta go on, can certainly manifest as a lack of commitment or distraction, right? Remember, this is creative family archetypes. You're actually pioneering, and you'll get it in the light here, a passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Like a pioneer in a science, a pioneer in literature, a pioneer, a billion different ways you could play that out. And in terms of your calling, I will tell you, that could be a very solitary road. I'm a pioneer in some ways. I'm certainly not the first professional witch on planet Earth, but certainly I do make some look good. Mars conjunct Leo rising, whatever. So interesting. Here in your center lane, your career, now think of that in terms of cologne. It's the perfume, but it's mixed with alcohol, so it's cut. Doesn't last as long, can be a little bit more changeable, but it is that thing that does that heart, third eye crown feels so good. No, you got the Exorcist, beware of pea soup. In general, unless it's really well made, the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. We'll talk about this in a sec. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And why this is bizarre is just this morning I was in prayer and meditation, and I've got guides, we chat, I live alone, talking to cats is lovely, but whatever. And they said, what if demons are never vanquished, they're just alchemized back into angels? I was like, they're like, from the point of view of the Exorcist, it would just disappear. It would look like it was vanished, but just shot up like 8 dimensions upward, right? It's an interesting thing, but that's alchemy, right? So the Exorcist is the shaman. It's an ability to face your emotional fears, your demons. But if everything is divine, E equals MC squared. If there is just the Tao, right? If there is just source, unity, then demons are just angels that have forgotten. And we're all in that process of remembering and awakening. So for your career, it can be very powerful, but it can also be very terrifying. Just saying, particularly if you're going it alone as a pioneer. See how this works? But let's talk about the Queen archetype. I guess you could say I have the Queen archetype. You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I have it a lifetime. My mother is a Queen archetype. I was born to a Queen archetype, and oh, I don't have my thwarping fan. Thwarp. Invisible thwarp, right? Work. Yes, witch, work. The Queen archetype, certainly in its shadow, we are familiar with it. Right, we are familiar with it. Why? Because Disney, the evil queen, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, off with their heads. Controlling and demanding. I'm not controlling and demanding, you're controlling and demanding. I demand. You get out of my sight immediately. I have worked for so many queen archetypes in my career, in magic, miracles, and mysticism. Oh, if I ever write that book. If I ever write that book, the one about my career, better than fiction, stranger than fiction. But to go for the light, right? Radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. The queen is in charge of the keep. In the castle, all the wealth, all the food, all the everything, keeping it all going, right? Now, just to clarify, Just like the king archetype can manifest in a female body, the queen archetype can manifest in a male body, and that doesn't necessarily even talk about preference. The queen archetype is the keeper of the law. Right? So think about the queens of the tarot, right? The fixed signs. Interesting thing, right? Fixed fire, Leo, fixed air, Aquarius, fixed water, Scorpio, fixed earth, Taurus, right? That solid law. So what you are, how this really is that you're a pioneer exorcist queen. I almost said witch. A pioneer exorcist queen. Yes, my pioneer exorcist queen, your majesty. All right, like I said, those are the most any of these cards are going into. We will refer to them. But now let's keep going. We're going to look at the next 4 chakras down. Crown, spiritual power. Third eye, mental power. Throat, willpower. Heart, emotional power. See what's going on the inside, in the feminine energy, the goddess energy, your yin dynamic using Daughters of the Moon. Breathe. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of Earth. Sign of Capricorn. Powers of the North, right? Element of Earth. Sign of Capricorn. Powers of the North. 3 cards in clarity, straight up, one at a time for the Capricorn Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading, starting from the first level up. They got the Queen archetype. In their work, their own, dealing with somebody else, but they're still developing their own, even if they are dealing with another queen archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. What do they need to be aware of inside of themselves? Heart, third eye, crown, and we have got burnout. Now, the 8 of Flames, which is the 8 of Wands, a card of fast-moving action, but on the inside, yes, you could be burnt out. You could be overcommitted. You could be putting out more than you're getting back in, which seems to be dominant on the planet Earth, particularly when it comes, let me just say this, to the feminine energy on the planet, like women not getting paid as much as men and shit like that. I'm a feminist. Meet my mom. You'll get it. They're like, oh, you were raised like that. But in a very Cancerian way. A queen, right? So this could also be a lot of fast-moving energy moving through you too. This could be creative. It depends on how you play that. But very throat chakra dominant element of fire. My goddesses, Exorcist, your career. Alchemizing demons as a side gig while they're working with a queen. What's going on there in their career, their heart, third eye, crown? Dynamic. Well, gee, you just got Coyote Woman, half of the Devil card. This is shadow work. There it is. Done. I mean, we can end the reading here, but I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. This is absolutely about freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, which is the shadow. It's the toxic shadows, which you don't want to look at. What you don't want anybody to know about, even if you have looked at it. A wonderful movie called The Shadow Effect. Featuring Debbie Ford. It's on YouTube. I put it in my 7-card draw shadow reads for the waning moon each month if you want to go check that out. But obviously, there are fears here. This could be a very toxic situation that you are in. Now, you may not be able to do anything if you are dealing with a toxic queen, an evil queen, in the work survival world. That could even be a family member. It could be anybody affecting how you survive in the world. But the shadow is yours to heal and actually gives you power in the situation, not necessarily over the situation. There is a difference. Been there, done that. Have the scorched Moroccan cotton. It's a long story. Please, my goddesses, this is a fun read in its way. I can relate to this. They've got the Pioneer. That might be the real tricky one. I hope this is their leverage. The Pioneer in the 8th chakra of their vocation. Their calling, the star that calls them forward, the perfume of their life, which just fulfills them in terms of their life calling. What's going on, heart, third eye, crown, for the Capricorn Collective? Please lead. If it was one, I would have taken it. She's being picky, as she can. Please leave the card in my hand for the Capricorn. Pioneer. 8th chakra. Vocation. Timeless read. You got the 5 of Pentacles. Now, I know, considered a card of poverty, but maybe not. Certainly being left out in the cold, all of those feelings, certainly, but when it's heart, third eye, crown, the element of earth is about the wisdom that you have gained on the inside that cannot be taken from you. So, in terms of the pioneering that you have done, you may be shook. It is called the earthquake, in this deck. Things are changing very, very quickly. Maybe inside of yourself there is a change in terms of what you have experienced from all of this that has you maybe a little shook in terms of what your calling is. But if you can really tune into, all right, they sent my soul in to create what's never been created before, to do what's never been done before. That's worth it. See, that's what I mean. That's why the perfume is sort of everything. Well, it's certainly involved in the cologne and the eau de toilette work. All right, so let's see what this looks like. Lower 3 chakras, the masculine energy, the yang dynamic, the physical world, right? You from the outside looking in at yourself, you from the inside looking out at another group, person, place, thing. Lower 3 chakras. Let's just get them on the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Okay, now I get the Capricornian seriousness. I feel this. Here we go. Trying to keep it light, folks, as I call upon my gods, the gods of Earth. Sign of Capricorn, powers of the North, please. They've got the Queen archetype in their work with that burnout, which can really mean fast movement, fast movement. This could be a queen on point, on fleek, who's doing it, who's zooming, right? Taking all of this willpower, really those arrows of will and intention shooting forth out of that 3rd chakra. But what's going on lower 3 chakras here? The masculine dynamic. Give us some clarity here. Well, we've got the 7 of Cups, so that does make sense. There might very well be some emotional confusion going on in this situation right now, some emotionality in terms of the options that you could take. If it is classic burnout, which is not really the meaning of that card, but it's written on it, so I can't keep that out of the equation. That's probably for a lot of people, where you might be burned out, right? A burnt out queen with just too many emotional options, don't know which cup to choose from. Now, if you do look at the myth indicated here, this is the mythic tarot. This is the myth of Eros and Psyche. This is Psyche begging her already mother-in-law to please help her get Eros, the god of love, back, Aphrodite's son. And she's like, well, let me look at the options here, because she ain't thrilled. It does end well, but she has to go to hell and back. Well, the underworld and back, you know. I have the river stick speed pass. It's really lovely this time of year. It ain't hell. It ain't hell, trust me. Hell is for children. I just Pat Benatar us, trying to keep it light. Because let's look at the Exorcist. Let's look at the Exorcist with the coyote, the trickster. And that's the thing. That is the saboteur, right? RuPaul Charles, white courtesy telephone. Drag courtesy telephone. What is your inner saboteur? Breathe. My gods, please, what's going on here in their career? The Exorcist in the 8th, the trickster on the inner, half of the devil card. What's going on the outer is 2 of Pentacles. Good. So at least you know that you are juggling action choices here in the outside. You may not have made that decision yet, but you got your tools in hand, right? The 3rd comes next. The 3, that's solid foundation. So there are still some balancing, some juggling, some choices here on the outside, which of course do the shadow work. And now that term shadow work covers a whole lot. from the Jungian psychological to the tinfoil hat, woo land, new agey, schmagey, to everything in between, right? Dissension, right? Even American Horror Story Coven had that. So let's see. Let's see what's going on here. At least you got a good choice here about what you want to do, but you got to do that interior work. So my gods, I have a feeling this is their leverage. I just do. Please, one card in clarity. Lower 3 chakra dynamic for the Capricorn. Pioneer in the 8th chakra of their vocation, their calling. With the 5 of Pentacles, which is my Tower card for the minor arcana, that could be a real awakening within them too, like a real being shook up, and things, earthquakes last seconds, they change a lot in a very short amount of time. So please, what does this look like? Lower 3 chakra dynamic, external for the Capricorns in their vocation. 10 of Swords, but I wouldn't freak out. 10 of Swords, well, this is a rather rough scene we've got going here, but at least the battle is over, because when you get stuck between the Furies and Athena, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But it is over, and the sun is rising, as we see always in the Ten of Blades. Is this betrayal? I don't think so. Why? Because ain't nobody stabbed in the back in this one. That's just Rider Waite, as well as many interpretations thereof. But certainly there is resolution here. There is a mental resolution, whatever the thoughts and the beliefs, right? And this does have to do with being stuck between a rock and a hard place, and a lot of overthinking, because, well, rock and a hard place is 8 of Swords. Overthinking, all of that is the 9. So you did get here, so it's not out of lack of effort. I see the effort here, but get that if this is not your leverage, then certainly I would think it's a dark leverage in the sense that you have to do some shadow work here. But to exercise, alchemize those your demons back into angels. I know it's a weird, clunky language, but it do make sense on an intuitive level. We got 4 more cards, but 3 of them are going to be the Kahn Healing Mantra deck. These are very helpful. I work these all the time. I use them in breath work. I'm actually doing videos now. Every now and again, I'm called a breath adventure, where I'll take a Kahn mantra or some other mantra and utilize it with some freeform breath work and all that. Check it out when it hits. Breathe. Still point. As I call upon the ascended masters of life purpose through the lenses of work, career, vocation, ode to toilette, cologne, and perfume. Please, what are the 3 perfect healing mantras to help them heal and align their work, career, and vocation even just a bit in this timeless read? They've got the Queen, 8 of Flames on the inner, 7 of Cups on the outer, and that would make sense with the 2 of Pentacles actually in their career. So there is this option feeling out dealio. So what's going on? Just leave the card in my hand for their work. Perfect healing mantra to help them heal their work. To heal their career, they've got the Exorcist in the 8th. They've got Coyote Woman, the trickster, on the inner. And they've got 2 of Pentacles on the outer. Please, their perfect healing mantra. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, we've got the Pioneer in their 8th chakra of their visionary intuition. They're calling 5 of Pentacles that can just be shook as a result of something really coming all the way around in the cycle of air with that 10 of Swords, right? Really getting at all the pieces of the puzzle on the table. You get it. It may not be seeing the whole divine plan all at once, but it could be a real clarification and a closing of an argument, a closing of a lesson, a closing of a mental healing. So please, leave the perfect mantra for them, for their vocation. Now, we're going to read them this way first, and we're going to go back this way. So in your work, you are processing grief. In your career, you are anchoring the light. And in your vocation, you are expressing free will. Now, let's read it this way, flip them over. So in order to heal your vocation, my choices determine how brightly I shine. Thank you very much. My choices determine how brightly I shine. Immense power there when it comes to being a pioneer with that vocation, whatever it may be. You heal your career here. The light is always within me. Doing shadow work? Are you kidding me? Underneath the shadow is light. The core of who we are is divine. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. A soul is a manifestation of a higher self that's on a hero's journey in human form. Human hero, immortal God. Check out my Malpods. Check out the podcast on YouTube or elsewhere. I don't know where they all are right now. Am I my podcast keeper? I guess I am. So, and then how you heal your work right now is processing grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. Are you a queen archetype? In loss on the inside, dealing with loss, grief, but as a result, burnout. It could be a loss of motivation, right? The loss of that driving energy. But also it can be that maybe there have been some options you're not looking at, or a loss of options emotionally here. So there is, of course, processing grief. You just kind of have to let yourself feel it. I just said this I did a reading for a new company around the corner. I'm going to be doing a tarot night there in May 2022. And I said to them, who is taught how to grieve properly? I was like, I was raised by Italians on one side of my family. Oh, you feel bad? Here, eat. That's why I lost that weight, baby. That grief weight is gone. No, and grief contributes to anxiety. Unprocessed grief turns into anxiety, in my opinion, because it feels like you're always waiting for that other shoe to drop, the loss to happen. So maybe in terms of dealing with a queen, or maybe you are a queen who has temporarily lost their queendom, but the drive is there. But that burnout, right? Think of a forest fire. I hate that image, but think of it just... Are you burning down the village? Process your grief. You've got other options here. But, you know, sometimes you need things to turn to ash, although we're dealing not with the death card, but with the devil card here. Out of those ashes, under it is fertile soil. Those seeds will come again. We shall see. One more card left here. The newest deck, the chakra reading cards. Rock Pool, all one word, publishing. The Ancient Wisdom to Balance and Heal by, I'm going to say Rachel, but I think it's probably Rachelle, R-A-C-H-E-L-L-E. Charman, C-H-A-R-M-A-N. Loving this deck, big time, only getting one. And maybe this will give a little bit more of an indication of where your leverage is. I'm going to go with center lane, but you do you. That's why you want to check your other signs too. So let's do this. Last card down. Breathe. Still point. It did get serious. I hear you as I call to the higher selves of all involved. Fifth dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What is the chakric message? Show us their leverage. Show us the message that will help the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign heal, align, and unify their work, career, and vocation as needed in fulfillment of their life purpose, therefore the fulfillment of the divine plan. They're part of it, known and unknown, for this timeless work, career, vocation read. Family. Card 5. It was a show in the 70s. I remember... Was that Queen Cummings on a swing? I don't remember. I suck at names. Card number 5. Oh, cute though, monkeys. Monkeys. I am born the heir of the monkey. Don't be shocked. I'm a virgin monkey, baby. Card number 5. Family. Root chakra. I mean, that is red. And family. Tribal dynamic. Well, and that certainly speaks of a queen, right? I mean, if you're going to go the usual route, right? Bridgerton, whatnot, pretty little Bridgerton, then, it is a genetic thing, royalty, but we're talking archetype, not literal. It's a little long. Worth it, though, and there's an affirmation at the end that you can mix in with these mantras. Ready? Let's do this. Card number 5, family. Base chakra, root chakra. You have pulled this card into your awareness today to let you know the energy of your ancestors is surrounding you. All right, so calling on ancestral power, tribal power, and by the way, element of earth, Capricorn. It's a powerful time for healing family wounds and dissolving any ancestral karma. It has been understood for thousands of years that we carry through our bloodlines old patterns and karma from those family members who walked before us. Just like some physical issues can be handed down in the family line, so can emotional, mental, and spiritual imbalances. And I've been teaching that for a very long time. People don't want to hear it. That's why they send in certain souls into certain bloodlines to clean this shit up. Just saying, there is a big chance that any challenges you are going through at this time could be connected in some way to family karma. So look, processing grief. A queen is a family member of a royal family, right? Sorry, a little redundant. But that's why I still feel like, yes, that's where this begins, perhaps, but your leverage is still in the Exorcist, right? To alchemize the demons back into angels, pick your language. Take a moment to tune in and ask what this pattern or challenge, this pattern or challenge is coming from. You can do this by quieting the mind and taking some time to be still and listen. Be still. Still point. It's a little spell they told me about. Once you identify the root of the issue, root chakra, you can simply light a candle and have a conversation in your mind with that family member. See yourself handing back the issue to this ancestor. We just got Elvis Presley. Return to sender. Address unknown. No such number. No such zone. Sorry, that took me by surprise. See yourself handing back this issue to this ancestor. They place this energy into their heart where it transmutes into something positive, and then they hand it back to you. Well, that's right. You're handing it to the soul that played the role of your ancestor, because we're all immortal beings, human hero, immortal god, just saying. Now, place it in your heart for healing. Allow this energy to release you from this karma as you now receive the love, wisdom, and guidance from your ancestors. Family is an integral part of life. We are born into these little tribes for a reason. I would say a purpose. Reason is a human invention. Purpose is the gods at work. We learn big lessons of unconditional love through the interaction and challenges with family. Ain't it just the truth? This card can also indicate that you may have been experiencing a conflict within the family unit, and it is now time for resolution. This card could also be a sign that a family member who has passed away is with you, guiding and supporting you from the other side. A powerful way to connect with our ancestors is through the energy of trees. Yay! Forest witch, hedge witch, pretty much nowadays. Take a moment to sit in nature with your favorite tree and open yourself to hear the whispers of wisdom from your ancestors, the one who walked the path before. It's beautiful. Here's the affirmation. I am at peace and at one with my family. Sounds like a Capricornian weekend workshop for you there. How about it? We're going to put this all together in a blessing as well as a summation, putting it together bit by bit. And Stephen Sondheim for you there. All right, Sunday in the Park with George. Let's get this nice and clear to you, then we'll chat a little bit at the end, shall we? Get yourself ready, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. This is a lot on the table. That's why we bring in the heavy artillery. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need in their vocation, that they embrace their passion for doing and creating what has not been done before as they shake through this, shaking loose some wisdom, turning over some wisdom within themselves, because they are at the end of a mental cycle there, and there is some mental resolution there, but it's all up to them expressing free will, because their choices determine how brightly they shine, and may they be blessed in their career, which feels very much like their leverage, that they may free themselves and others of destructive impulses, doing the shadow work within themselves with the trickster, maybe being tricked into it, really alchemizing the demons into angels and bringing them into a more solid place of balance, of being able to make the physical choices in their outside world, choice, maybe not life-changing decision, but choice, bringing them into balance by anchoring the light. When they really get the light is always within them, no matter who is around them or what they're going through at the core. It's the E that equals MC squared. And so that in their work they may be blessed with the radiance of the regal feminine, using their benevolent authority to protect others, perhaps with a driving passion, 8 of Wands, 8 of Flames inside of them, but also possibly with some burnout if they're putting out more than they are getting back. That's just what burnout is, not enough fuel in the fire, but they do have emotional options here. They gotta focus on at least one of them to bring it into the next stage of things while they process grief. Their losses proving how deeply they loved, and whether that loss is literal in terms of someone crossing over, or loss of a friendship, or loss of a connection in some way. Well, may they process that with the root chakra healing of family energy here, that they do the tribal work necessary, that they call in the ancestors, that the wisdom is never lost, and nor is the soul. The soul is the eternal creation of the divine self, which is on a hero's journey in human form, and our ticket home is assured for absolutely every single one of us. So may they be blessed with the fulfillment they need in their work, career, vocation, that they may slow and steady win the race, right? Manifesting their highest potential 10th house dynamic, and therefore fulfilling their role in the divine plan, healing ancestral patterns, doing the shadow work, and being the pioneer exorcist queen they're destined to be, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So let it be. And so it is. It felt good. I almost forgot to do the knocky knock. So did you like it? Hit the thumbs up, like it. Want more? Subscribe on YouTube. Want to come play on Patreon, because I'm there every morning. Cup of coffee, usually a bathrobe, not always bedhead, talking about the lunar astrology of the day. A little prayer, a little grace, a little magic in your face. So come hang out, and certainly if you feel like commenting on this, please do. It is always a pleasure. And if you want a private reading, I've been doing these readings for clients for decades. Video in the description box, booking a reading with Mel. Video here on YouTube. Thank you so much. I love you, my Capricorns, my sea goats. Highest potential. You're yummy. Hell, farewell. And blessed, blessed be.